Between 2011 and 2021, multiple lead actors quietly exited the hit sitcom Last Man Standing, leaving viewers confused and ratings under pressure. What seemed like normal cast changes slowly revealed deeper issues behind the scenes. Contracts shifted, networks changed, and personal decisions collided with production demands. Fans noticed the gaps, but few knew the real reasons. What forced these key characters to walk away from a successful show? Stay with this story as the truth unfolds. The answers are surprising. In October 2011, a new sitcom entered American television. It was called Last Man Standing, and it arrived with a familiar face at the center. Tim Allen returned to network TV after years away. He played Mike Baxter, a traditional father raising three daughters in a changing world. The concept was simple, but it connected with millions. The show aired on ABC during a competitive time. Networks were fighting for attention in a crowded primetime lineup. Yet Last Man Standing quickly stood out. Its mix of humor and family conflict made it easy to follow. Viewers saw their own lives in the story. Parenting struggles, generational differences, everyday arguments. These themes helped the show grow fast. Within its first season, ratings were strong. Reports showed millions tuning in each week. For ABC, it became a reliable performer. Not the biggest show, but one that held steady. Consistency matters in television. And this show delivered it. But success was not just about numbers. The cast played a major role. Nancy Travis portrayed Vanessa Baxter, Mike's wife. Her character balanced the household with calm strength. The three daughters each brought something different. Kristen, the oldest, represented responsibility at a young age. Mandy added humor and confidence. Eve, the youngest, brought energy and a unique voice. Together, they created a believable family. Their chemistry felt natural. Scenes moved smoothly, like real conversations at home. Behind the cameras, the production team worked with tight schedules. Sitcoms often follow strict timelines. Episodes must be written, filmed, and edited quickly. Writers adjust scripts based on audience reactions. Producers track ratings closely. Every decision matters. According to industry patterns, early seasons are critical. If a show fails to connect, it rarely survives. But Last Man Standing passed that test. It entered its second season with confidence. The audience remained loyal. At this point, everything seemed stable. But stability in television is often temporary. Network expectations continued to rise. Budgets had to be managed carefully. Contracts also became more important. Actors often signed deals for multiple seasons. But these deals can change over time. Negotiations happen quietly. Sometimes they lead to unexpected outcomes. At the same time, creative direction can shift. Writers may change a character's personality. Producers may adjust storylines to keep things fresh. These small changes are not always visible to viewers, but they shape the future of a show. During these early seasons, there were already signs of movement behind the scenes. Nothing dramatic, just small adjustments. A line rewritten here, a character slightly altered there. To the audience, everything looked normal. But inside the production, decisions were being made. Television is not just storytelling. It is also business. And business brings pressure. Pressure to perform. Pressure to stay relevant. Even a successful show is never safe. As Last Man Standing grew stronger, expectations grew with it. The cast continued filming. The audience kept watching. On the surface, it was a success story. But beneath that success, tension was slowly building. Because in television, change often begins quietly. And by the time it becomes visible, it is already too late to stop. But just as the show found its rhythm, the first unexpected departure raised questions no one could ignore. Just after the first season, viewers noticed a surprising change. Kristen Baxter, the oldest daughter, was suddenly portrayed by a new actress. Alexandra Krosny, who had played Kristen in Season 1, was replaced by Amanda Fuller. The official explanation cited creative reasons, a common industry term that often masks complex behind-the-scenes decisions. Recasting is more than just a switch in appearance. It can alter chemistry, timing, and audience perception. Fans quickly noticed the difference. Social media buzzed with confusion and speculation. Some praised Fuller's performance, while others mourned the loss of Krosny's portrayal. Inside the production, reports suggest multiple factors contributed to the change. Contract negotiations may have played a role. Sometimes networks or producers decide a character's direction does not align with the actor's style or schedule. Budget considerations can also be a hidden factor, as producers balance costs across cast and crew. The replacement marked an early signal of instability within the series. Though the show's ratings remained strong, subtle shifts behind the camera hinted at larger challenges ahead. Writers had to adjust scripts to fit the new actress's interpretation. Scenes were rewritten. Timing was recalibrated. Small differences became noticeable to attentive fans. Beyond the creative adjustments, the cast faced an emotional challenge. Swapping a main character affects relationships on set. Actors who had built rapport suddenly had to adapt to new dynamics. Crew members also needed to adjust. Even the director had to rethink long-established routines for continuity. Despite these changes, Last Man Standing moved forward. The show continued to air weekly episodes and attract viewers. Ratings reports indicated a loyal audience still cared about Mike Baxter and his family. Yet the first major exit left an unspoken tension in the air. As recasting became public, speculation ran rampant. Was this a one-time adjustment, or did it hint at deeper issues? Insiders hinted at creative disagreements between the cast and producers, though details were scarce. Fans were left wondering, could another actor leave unexpectedly? And this was only the beginning, as a much bigger departure was about to change everything. In 2017, Last Man Standing faced a shocking turn. After 6 seasons on ABC, the network unexpectedly canceled the show. Reports noted that the decision came despite steady ratings and a loyal audience. Fans were stunned. Social media exploded with messages demanding explanations. For years, the show had been a reliable performer, yet suddenly it seemed expendable. Industry experts suggest multiple factors influence the cancellation. Network executives consider more than just ratings. Shifts in target demographics, advertising revenue, and competition with other programs all play a role. Some observers also noted that the show's political and cultural themes may have contributed to the decision. Television, after all, is a business shaped by multiple pressures. The cast and crew faced uncertainty. For actors, the end of a contract means sudden career recalibration. For writers and producers, it meant unfinished storylines and disrupted plans. Behind the cameras, the mood was tense. Months of planning and shooting could be undone in a single announcement. But the story did not end there. In an unusual move, Fox picked up Last Man Standing for a new season in 2018. This type of revival is rare, and it brought both hope and new challenges. The switch to a new network required adjustments in production, scheduling, and budget. Crew contracts had to be renegotiated, and actors faced decisions about returning. Some cast members welcomed the chance to return. Others could not commit due to scheduling conflicts or personal priorities. The revival was both a second chance and a test of resilience. Ratings initially held steady, showing that the audience's loyalty had survived the cancellation. However, even with the revival, changes were inevitable. New episodes introduced small adjustments to storylines, supporting characters, and timing. The studio and network carefully managed the transition to maintain continuity. Despite these efforts, not every actor returned. When the show came back, one familiar face was suddenly missing, and the reason raised even more questions. One of the most noticeable changes after the revival was the absence of Mandy Baxter, originally played by Molly Ephraim. Fans immediately noticed the gap. The character they had followed since the show's beginning was suddenly different. Molly McCook took over the role, and while she brought her own energy, the transition was challenging for longtime viewers. The reason for Ephraim's departure was practical. By 2017, she had already committed to other projects. Television schedules are often rigid, and revivals rarely align with actors' new commitments. Even if an actor wishes to return, logistical conflicts can make it impossible. Replacing a character is more than a simple swap. Writers had to adjust dialogue, relationships, and story arcs. Scenes were rewritten to fit the new actress's interpretation of Mandy. The cast had to adapt to a colleague they had never worked with before. The emotional impact on the audience was significant. Mandy was a fan favorite, known for her humor, independence, and relatable struggles. Her departure sparked discussions online, with viewers expressing disappointment and nostalgia for the original portrayal. Behind the scenes, the production team faced pressure to maintain continuity. Attention to detail was critical. Props, costumes, and character mannerisms had to be consistent. Even minor differences could draw criticism from loyal fans. This recasting also highlighted the fragility of long-running series. Success does not guarantee permanence. Actors' careers evolve, schedules change, and personal priorities shift. Television is a living industry, constantly adjusting to these realities. Despite the careful handling, the change left a lingering tension. Fans wondered how other departures might affect the show's dynamic. Continuity was maintained, but the sense of the original family had subtly shifted. But Mandy's recasting was not the only change, as another major character would soon vanish without warning. While Mandy's recasting drew immediate attention, other departures were more subtle. Boyd Baxter, the youngest son, was played by Flynn Morrison during the early seasons. When the show returned on Fox, he did not come back. Producers chose to write around his absence rather than recast him. This approach allowed the story to continue smoothly, but it left a noticeable gap in the family dynamic. Child actors often face unique challenges. Growth, school schedules, and other commitments make it difficult to maintain continuity over many years. By the time of the revival, Morrison had moved on to other projects, and scheduling conflicts prevented his return. This is a common issue in long-running shows, where the youngest actors outgrow their roles or pursue new opportunities. The show also quietly reduced the presence of other supporting characters. Friends, neighbors, and minor family members received fewer scenes or disappeared entirely. These adjustments are typical in television revivals. Producers must balance budgets, filming schedules, and story arcs while keeping the core narrative intact. From an emotional perspective, these changes subtly affected viewers. A show like Last Man Standing relies on audience attachment to a familiar ensemble. Even small absences can alter the way viewers connect with the story. Fans may not notice immediately, but over time, the impact grows. Behind the cameras, these shifts revealed the realities of television production. Every exit, recast, or reduced role is a negotiation between practical necessity and creative choice. Actors' careers evolve, networks make strategic decisions, and production teams adapt. The show must continue, but the composition of its world changes. The gradual exits and recastings formed a pattern. Change was no longer occasional, it was becoming a defining feature of the series. This pattern left one critical question unanswered. Were these just normal adjustments, or did they hint at something deeper behind the scenes? As the cast continued to shift, one question remained. Was this just normal television evolution, or was something deeper happening behind the scenes? By the end of its run, Last Man Standing had endured multiple cast departures, recastings, and network changes. Each shift reflected the complex realities of television. Contracts, schedules, creative decisions, and personal choices all played a role. Fans witnessed characters leave or change, but few knew the full story behind these exits. The show survived, but its world was quietly transformed by these behind-the-scenes forces, leaving a lasting impact on both the cast and the audience. If you enjoyed this story, consider subscribing to the channel for more fascinating real-life journeys.